Could the next 2 challenge events for Overwatch have just been leaked? Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the channel. I am Stylosa. Okay, so let's just build the story before we get stuck into this. This website, which I cannot pronounce, Caja de Bitcoin, I don't know. I can't speak that language. I'm an idiot, but then you guys know that. So I've translated the website, and it says, filtration suggests Overwatch short story for Brigitta and Zenyatta. Okay, cool. I mean, it doesn't really mean, it's not English, is it? I don't know what the hell's going on. But what I do know is this, ladies and gentlemen. This is the first part of the leak. Now, we're going to go over this in the video, and then we're also going to talk about if this is actually legit or fake. Maybe it's somebody trying really hard to make a fake that looks legit, so it looks fake, legit, fake, and so YouTubers make video, and I'm making a video on it, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, I digress. The reason why is because this could potentially be a Zenyatta lore, and sign me up to that, ladies and gentlemen. Oh yeah. Okay, so this is what the little slide says. Now, it's a really weird image, this is. It's sort of off to the side. Maybe this is somebody sitting in, I don't know, like an auditorium. Someone's on a projector. They've got their phone out. They're taking a dodgy little picture. And it says this. New short story by Michael Chu. New community challenge. 7 new community collaboration sprays. Collaboration with Twitch streamers. Public relations, maybe, I don't know, and 1 legendary skin, human Zenyatta design. Now, human Zenyatta, what the hell? A skin for Zen where he looks like a human would be actually ridiculous. I mean, they could even do something crazy with that, like, I don't know, maybe like a Pinocchio style skin, but then you've kind of got the Nutcracker skin, which kind of looks like that anyway. I don't know. And actually, I forgot the Nutcracker skin existed, and it's actually nightmare fuel. So yeah, this is funky, right? You've got little bits of, you know, internal use only up the top right and the bottom right, Blizzard localization. Maybe trying to imply this has gone out to the localization teams. And then you've got a nice little X through the screen. And in the bottom left, it says Zenyatta's iris. It's like, oh yes, are we going to pass into the iris? Well, we've also got these as well. This is apparently the logo for Zenyatta's Iris. I want to say Irish. It's not Irish. Iris challenge. And then there's some Chinese text at the bottom there. And yeah. I mean, it looks like it's on Nepal, which would make sense because that's the sanctum that you typically see Zen in. And there was actually the little sort of teaser for Overwatch 2 where Genji goes back to see Zen and he's like, Master, I've returned. And it's all a bit Star Wars, ladies and gentlemen. But you'll notice here, top right, it says June 2020. So that's potentially when this mini challenge, if it's actually real, is going to happen. And again, it says internal use only. There's blue lines through it, Blizzard localization, all beautiful. But the thing is here, it looks very rough and ready, this logo does. But there is a little bit of a disclaimer here, because this actually might be legit, because if the guys are banging together this stuff like, you know, concept phase, like, hey, we're going to do this, but we'll clean the logo up in the future, blah, blah, blah. Potentially, that's what's going on here. I don't know. But there's another one, and this is the Brigitta one. And now this is pretty funky. So, yeah, what we've got here is Brigittas. There's a lot of G there in the middle. Helmet Heart Challenge. Okay, and then there's like a Brig shield, and it looks very briggy. The design of this is not as bad as the Zen one, I guess. But again, it's briggy. It's spelled completely wrong. It says internal use only at the top, and February 2020 in the bottom of the screen for this one. Whereas remember, the Zen one said the date in the top right of the screen, so like you may a little bit of a discrepancy there. Who knows? Now the thing with this is the image in the background, I think, is Gothenburg. So look at these images. These are from the Overwatch 2 press pack, which you can download if you go to the Overwatch press website. Now, this isn't particularly like, well, it is public knowledge. Anybody can access the site, but you can find stuff on there that might look unique, right? That people actually haven't seen all over the place, especially when it comes to the new maps that they spoke about at BlizzCon. And they might have used one of these screenshots. It could be any of these, really, maybe zoomed in and sort of got a lot of blur on the go there, so it's difficult to tell what it is. But it's enough so it looks new. It's like, oh, it's Brigitta, right? Let's use the Gothenburg map in the background. So the thing with all of this, guys, is take a look at this. This is the Mercy's Recall Challenge at the moment. Now, look at the logo, look at the text, look at the font, look at the way this is put together. Theoretically, the two logos for the Zen Challenge and the Brig Challenge could be legit, but they could also be fake. I mean, this is also something I could make in Photoshop in literally 5 minutes. I could like knock out Reinhardt's Rampage Challenge and it would be similar, right? And would it look legit? I could easily draw blue lines on stuff and type Blizzard internal and throw it out there. The only reason I decided to put this video together is, for a start, I want to see what you guys think. But also, I remember a certain leak where I said I don't think that's legit. And that was Overwatch 2. But then I think most people thought that wasn't legit when they first saw the Tracer and the Overwatch 2 logo. It was like, well, anybody could have made this. In fact, I remember zooming in on the logo and showing you the terrible quality of it. So Blizzard have got history with this, right? I don't know. It'd be funky to kind of throw this out there. So maybe we're about to get, well, I say about, we're going to get a Brig event in February and a Zen event in June. Interesting stuff. And yeah, I would totally take a Zen human skin. Okay, I think what really worries me here with this stuff, guys, is if this is true, like if this is actually a real leak, is this what we're looking at until Overwatch 2 launches? Are we looking at, well, these challenge events, and we'll get a few of them. We'll get the usual recycled seasonal events with a couple of new skins. And then maybe we get one new hero before Overwatch 1 comes out. And of course, we'll get a bunch of like PTR balance changes. Is that really enough to keep us playing Overwatch until Overwatch 2 comes out? And this is another thing as well, because you've got to think, right, guys, you guys you've been fans of the channel for years and years and years. The way I've covered Overwatch, we've made tons of videos on the game. But we've covered every aspect of it. Things like speculation, news, discussions, guides, all of that stuff. And I still think there's a place for stuff like that. But the problem I've got is when I look at it from a content creator point of view, and I've had this discussion with a bunch of other YouTubers and streamers, and it's like we all kind of come to the same conclusion. It's like, well, what do we actually do until Overwatch 2 comes out if we want to keep making videos on Overwatch? Now, well, you guys have probably seen that there's been a bit of a change on the channel recently. There's been videos which are more gameplay-orientated stuff, which I think is cool to make. And it is fun to have fun with Overwatch. It sounds crazy to say it, but it is fun to make those kind of videos. And I'm going to make more of those videos. And that's probably the way I'm going to support Overwatch going forward in the future. Also, as well, I'm probably going to I'm obviously still going to cover new stuff. If it's worth covering, I'm also going to cover, new skins, new events and stuff like that. But I don't think we can ever go back to the way we were just because we simply don't know what's going to happen. But the thing is, we do. So we know Overwatch 2 is the main focus of the Overwatch development team. Now, what that means for us is we're playing a game with a skeleton crew maintaining the game because everybody else is working on Overwatch 2. So now we know that. It's almost like, okay, we know what Blizzard have been doing for the last 2 years and what they're probably going to do for the next year, maybe even the next 2 years, because of course we don't know the launch date for Overwatch 2. So we know what they're working on. So it's almost like they've got an excuse now to go, well, we don't actually need to update the actual base game, but that's why they're not doing it. It's like, well, guys, we're working on Overwatch 2. So I think what will happen is they will give us teasers for Overwatch 2 development. So let's say in a few months' time, or maybe next month, or whatever, they'll be like, hey, this is what we're working on for Overwatch 2, or something like that happens. What I'm really worried about, though, is all we get are these little challenge events, and they've got a little short story attached to each one, gives us a little bit of backstory and present-day story for the hero that it's involved with, and that's all we're going to get until the launch of Overwatch 2. But my initial kind of worry is, we've got this gap now, where it's like, we know Blizzard have put Overwatch onto live support because whatever people say, that's exactly what they've done. The live game is just PvP Overwatch. It's going to have, I don't think we're having the archives event. I think Jeff kind of confirmed that. Again, I am kind of ad-libbing this a bit, but I think that's been confirmed somewhere. But even so, it's all this misinformation going around. But we don't get archives event. We get the same events we had for the last 4 years, basically. And then we're just waiting for Overwatch 2. And my worry as somebody who plays Overwatch and makes videos on Overwatch and is like in the Overwatch community is that enough to keep us playing the game? Now, I play Overwatch, not as much as I used to, but I do play Overwatch. I used to play it every day. I'd say now I probably play once every probably 2 or 3 days. I do sit down and have a pretty decent gameplay session, but I play, a bit of Overwatch. But here's the question, right, on like a pure business level, and I want you guys to answer this in the comments below. Do you think that it doesn't matter, really, what Blizzard do? Because Blizzard have sold what, like 40 million copies of Overwatch? I think they were saying 50 million at BlizzCon. So if they've sold 50 million copies of Overwatch, what they've got there is a massive player base that doesn't really play the game anymore. But if they come out with a sequel, we'll come back and buy the game. So maybe they can sell, I don't know, 30 million copies when Overwatch 2 launches, and again make themselves another $1 billion. Well, it doesn't matter, does it? What happens between the launch of Overwatch 2 and now, does it really? Because if they're finding it really hard to monetize Overwatch, which I think they probably are, because the loot box system, you know, people don't buy loot boxes really, because we've got loads of credits, and without revamping that, without selling Overwatch 2, they're not really making that much money off Overwatch right now. It's just sort of sitting there and it's fine. So maybe this is the play all along. Just release Overwatch 2 when it's done. Maybe that's next year, maybe it's early 2021, whenever it comes out, because hey, we'll know, we'll make another $1 billion, we'll sell like 30 million copies, and then we can kick on with it. My worry is though, it's 2019, it's December. Like, what are you doing, Blizz? You know what I mean? Anyway, guys, let me know what you think about this in the comments below. I don't want to be like a bit of a downer at the end of this video, but it's just like, I don't know, like it's been a weird ride, Overwatch has, like making all the content on Overwatch, watching it really slow down, trying to work out why it slowed down. Now we know why it slowed down, but then we don't have an end goal, like sort of like a goalpost to aim for Overwatch 2, you know, the launch date. So it's like, well, what's happening with Overwatch? And of course, you know, there's a lot of stuff on the horizon. You've got Riot Shooter, Project A, you've got Apex Legends has actually been quite good recently with a bunch of updates. There's a lot of stuff going on, guys. That's what I'm trying to say. And yeah, I don't know, like I'm gonna keep making content. I like making content, but there's gonna be more fun content. I think that's the moral of the story here. Anyway, guys, I've rambled for too long. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, let me know what you think about it in the comments below, and I will catch you lovely lot on the next one. Doodaloo.